Their first preseason game over the weekend, running back Tony Pollard drew rave reviews, of course he did, from Jerry Jones, who said he felt confident Pollard could, quote, carry the load as Zeke continues to hold out. Dak also looked solid, going 4 for 4 on his only series. Still hasn't signed an extension, and The Athletic is reporting Dak turned down an offer that would have paid him $30 million a year. That would have put Dak in the top 6 highest paid quarterbacks based on average salary. He's currently set to make just over $2 million this year. We're now joined by NFL FS1 analyst Eric Mangini. Eric, good to see you.
What's up?
We'll start you with an easy one.
Different looking show.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Is Dak Prescott worth $30 million a year?
Well, that's a really difficult question because if you look at it from a standpoint of is he one of the top 5 best quarterbacks in the NFL? No, I don't think you can put him in that category. But he is in a situation where he's able to renegotiate his contract. And when he looks at the people below him and the people above him, especially a guy like Carson Wentz, he's got to feel like I deserve that money. And in fairness to him, if you look at his wins, if you look at his completion percentage, if you look at most of the major statistics, he's been as good or better than Carson Wentz. So it's fair for him and his representatives to say, that's where I belong. Do I think he's a force multiplier? Do I think he's a guy that can go and win games on his own? No, I don't think he's there yet. I think he does a good job of not losing games and managing games, which is really important in the NFL, especially if you have a good team. But the idea that he can go and make everybody else around him better, he's not there. And we see that he's not there because every discussion is how important Ezekiel Elliott, how important Amari Cooper is. And that, to me, is a problem.
So that sounds like a no, right? It sounds like a not worth $30 million.
Well, he's going to be worth $30 million because that's what the market bears.
Yeah.
So that's just the way it is. That's where the market is.
But I'm saying if it's my money, I'm not paying him $30 million. That's why, if this is true, it's shocking that he would turn down $30 million, because when you talk to all the executives, they say exactly what you say. When the Athletic did that piece with 55 people and they talked in the league, he was a 3rd-tier quarterback. He's not one of the best 5. He's not even the next 5, 6 through 10. He's after that. He's in the middle of the pack. And yes, he's won the division twice the last two of the last 3 years. And he's made his contributions, and the Cowboys are in the mix. But I'm just saying, when I saw that playoff game last year against Dallas, once the running game stopped, the Cowboys stopped. Dak can't win you a game. I'm not convinced of that. And when you pay a guy that kind of money, you expect him to be able to, when all goes bad, this guy might still be able to pull a game out for me.
Can Carson Wentz win a playoff game?
Well, I still think he's a better quarterback.
But
yes.
But we don't know that.
We don't know, but I have more confidence.
Was leading the MVP voting 2 years ago when the Eagles were on top of the league. And Matt Ryan, another guy who's
what does that mean, though? What does that mean?
He's won an MVP. He's been to a Super Bowl. The guys north of $30 million, Eric, have been to Super Bowl.
Carson Wentz has not been to a Super Bowl.
Well, he was leading the MVP.
He was there.
How many winning seasons does he have? His record as a starting quarterback.
Get him, coach. Wait a minute.
It's only one winning season out of 3 years.
You're going to come up here. Get him, coach. You're going to come up here and compare Dak and Carson Wentz?
Absolutely.
Those guys are on par.
100%.
No, I'm talking
they
about.
were drafted in the same
They're
draft.
on par talent-wise.
Their statistics. If you look at the statistics they have.
Traditional statistics.
Hold on. If you look at those numbers are comparable. Okay, across the board. If you look at the important number, which is wins and losses, Dak has the advantage there. And Carson Wentz, has he done anything in the postseason? Are you sure that this guy's going to be able to perform?
What has Dak done that you're sure that he's worth $30 million or that he can lead a team to win a championship?
It's also a question of alternatives. And what's Dallas's alternative? They've got a good situation right now. They have a player that they feel is at a level that can win them games, but also at a point where he can continue to improve. And I can tell you this about Tom Brady. His first year, he was not good at all.
Oh, I'm glad you say that. Finally.
His first year, I've always said that, okay? I'm glad you're finally listening.
No, I've been listening for years.
So the very first year when he was not playing, he struggled. And then when he did play, we scored 3 touchdowns in the playoffs that year, 3 offensive touchdowns.
He only threw one touchdown.
He only threw 1 touchdown. but he had traits, and those traits allowed him to improve. So I'm sure part of Dallas's equation is this is where this player is now, but he's got incredible intangibles, and he has the potential to improve. So we're not only paying him for where he's been, but we're paying him for where we think he's going to go.
If they really
and
believe
be
that,
part of it.
I think that they would have signed him to a new deal. I do believe that Dallas has doubts. They have doubts about him because if you know you have your franchise quarterback, you wouldn't Mickey Mouse around it. You wouldn't play around. You would say, he's the guy. They really want to see another year to believe that he's that guy and he's going to be here for years. If he falls off the face of the earth this year, I guarantee you they're not signing him to some long-term contract.
I guarantee you that wouldn't happen either. I wouldn't either. But the question is Dak Prescott worth the $30 million? And I say the answer is yes, he is, because of everything that coach has mentioned. Statistically, wins and losses, his accuracy, or his completion percentage.
I'm glad you took the accuracy back.
Yeah, I'm going to take the accuracy back for up to this point, because I think he's going to become more accurate, because when you have receivers that can get open, it exudes more confidence in your quarterback. You know that I can throw the ball and they're going to not only get open, but they'll catch it and they'll catch the contested balls. But, Coach, you mentioned one thing, and I have a question on here, and it's checking all these boxes. So his availability, check. We'll pay him because he's available. Durability, check. Leadership, check. Can he help us win? Yes, he can. Check. Then I have do I like who we are without him? Like, that's a question the Dallas Cowboys have to answer to themselves. Do we all sit here and do we know who the backup behind Dak Prescott is?
Cooper Rush, baby.
And would you like would you like the Dallas Cowboys chances?
Who was the backup when Tony
Would you
Romo
like
was
the
starter?
Dallas Cowboys chances without Dak Prescott?
Well, when Tony Romo was the starter and Dak was the backup,
his value for that organization and to that team is high. Regardless of how we view him, regardless of what he's done in comparable to other quarterbacks across this National Football League, his value to that team as consistent durability, leadership, and what they need at the helm is fit and suited for them.
Given all that you said, why doesn't he have a deal then if he's that guy?
He doesn't
if he's that guy,
he
why
doesn't
not?
have a deal because of the situation and circumstances that they have. They have to pay Ezekiel Elliott.
No, you got a franchise quarterback. Every good team in this league needs a franchise quarterback. So if he was really that guy, Greg, they would sign him and put it to rest. You're our guy. We're going to sign you. The franchise is about Dak Prescott. They're not convinced. That's why he doesn't have a deal.
Hold on. You made a great point about Tom Brady young with the Patriots, right? He was on the rookie deal, the 6th-round pick. Dak is on the rookie deal. This question here is, when you pay him $30 million, Eric, you're going to have to take money away from somewhere, whether it's secondary, the linebackers, the running back, the receiver. You can't build a contender around that. And game manager is probably the best phrase for Dak, right? As a former Jets coach, you saw my guy Mark Sanchez in New York game manage the Jets to 2 AFC title games. There was no way the Jets were paying him.
First of all, Mark Sanchez inherited a team that was ridiculous. So let's start with that.
Dak got a good team from Tony Romo.
Okay, but that team was incredible. The team that Sanchez got.
Yes.
You know, I don't know how that got put together.
Yeah, by you,
but he did.
of course.
But he did, and I don't think it's fair to put him just in that classification of game manager. And when I say that more games in the NFL are lost than won, that's true, and that's about decision making. That's not just managing the game. There are questions whether or not he can go out and win the game on his own, and I have a question about that too. But the idea of what is his upside, what is his potential, how far can he go? This is what he's done to this point. We're going to pay him for that to some degree, but we're also going to pay him for what he gives us moving forward. And the intangibles say that should continue to trend upward.
3-4 last year to start the season. Then they get Amari Cooper and they go 7-2. So how much of it was Amari Cooper?
Every year New England starts slow, and we say that's the end of their franchise, and you know they end up winning in the end. So you can't peg a slow start purely on him. I don't think that's fair.
Cowboys have 2 playoff wins in 25 years, and we're equating him to the Patriots.
Yeah, let's remove the.
And he's been a part of both of those.
What I'm saying is that things happen, and you make comparables just like you do with contracts. Are we not allowed to compare them to the
No,
Patriots?
I'm asking you, if you're a front office guy, and you say you're the general manager, you're not even convinced that you would tear up Dak's contract and give him a franchise quarterback contract if you really believe you had that guy. This is my only argument.
No, well, look, for me, I would let him play out the deal, and then I would franchise him the next year.
Why would you let him play out the deal if he was that guy?
Well, you didn't ask me whether I would do that.
Would you?
I said where he is for this team, what the market is right now, based off of what Carson Wentz signed for, which I think is a very fair comparison. That's what the market bears. That's what he should get paid. And look, I'm not there with him every day. I don't see the other things that he brings to the table. And even though we see one aspect of it, the people that I've talked to that are there say that he's incredible in terms of the chemistry he creates, the way that he does make guys get better. So there's value in that too.
But is not talent better
on chemistry though? It's tough. I mean, $30 million for chemistry.
Well, there is a price put on chemistry. I mean, Antonio Brown, they put a price on chemistry in Pittsburgh.
How's that working out?
Well, I mean, how's it working out for Oakland? You know, so there is a price that is paid for chemistry, and you see it every year where guys, it gets to the point where, you know, they're okay until they're too disruptive and not productive enough, and then they're not okay, and they get shipped out.
So you're putting a premium on let's get Dak's deal done before Ezekiel Elliott.
See, you keep flipping.
Oh, I want to advance the discussion.
Well, look, here's my feeling about Zeke's situation is it's totally different, okay? And I can imagine if I'm the owner of that team, and the first time that I hear that he's going to hold out is what, at the ESPY Awards, after I've been so supportive of him. And this isn't a guy that hasn't missed time because of personal behavior. He has. And then he had a personal behavior issue again this year, okay? And he didn't miss time for it. And then you've got the idea that this is 2 years early. So he wants his money early. He's had personal conduct issues. It's a little bit of an ambush from the owner's perspective. I totally understand where Jerry Jones is coming from and the idea of let's see where this goes. Let's go to the mattresses and see where this all plays out.
Is it fair, though, that Jerry wants to use the off-the-field stuff when he's been nothing but he's harbored plenty of players who have had really bad situations? He signed Greg Hardy. I could go on and on and on. Are you putting together a boys' choir? This is the same commission. This is the same owner who tried to have a coup against Roger Goodell over Ezekiel Elliott. Now you can't come back and go, well, you're off the field stuff. If it didn't matter to you before because you were winning and he gave you a chance to win.
And he did defend
now when he wants to get paid, you're going to act as if this stuff matters now. You can't have it both ways.
Whether it's injury, whether it's off the field issues, whatever it is, at the end of the day, it equates to playtime. So from an owner's perspective, let's say we take out the off the field and we just look at playtime. He missed playtime because of his actions that were controllable by him. Jerry's not saying that I don't support him. He's been very supportive. Jerry's been supportive of a lot of guys and giving them second chances. What he's saying, though, is in this negotiations, which is business, if there's the potential that you're going to miss significant play time, I need to pay you less for that. You don't get paid at a premium when you miss all this time, have the potential to miss more time, and you want your money early. That's just not how it works.
But did you build that into the contract era? Because you can't build in Dak do better, not be, according to Football Outsiders, the 26th rated quarterback in the NFL last year. Can't they just build into Zeke's contract, hey, you get busted again, it's going to cost you money?
Of course, you can build in a lot of
So then
things
it should be done.
No, but it's like with anything, and I hear this all the time, they should trade this guy, they should do this, they should do that. You need two people to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so if I may want to give Greg a deal and he doesn't want that deal, I can't force him to sign what I want. Can you build it in? Yeah, but there needs to be reasonableness and give and take on both sides.
Yeah, you guys are being very unrealistic here. What guys?
What guys?
Well,
Rob.
specifically.
Rob should have the byline unrealistic. Unrealistic Rob Parker.
Oh, there it is. It's a new tag.
Well, Rob, originally, he wants to negate what the market value for the quarterbacks is and then say, well, he's not worth that.
I said I wouldn't pay him if I owned the team. That's what I'm talking about.
Eric has even said he's on the fence whether or not Dak is worth it. Franchise tag probably makes the most sense.
Here's why you do pay Dak Prescott. Before I even say that, you're mentioning if the Dallas Cowboys were all in on him, then why hadn't they paid him? Because he hasn't proven that it's all about him and that he makes everybody better on game day. in that he can bear the load on game day. That